Hi, and welcome to DisruptED TV, where every little idea could make a big difference, a big positive difference in your school, in your community, in your classroom. And our guests today have a very interesting idea to share with us. Dr. Anita Voogt, who is the Executive Dean of Regional Sites and the K-12 Partnership.
Right.
I have that right?
Right.
And Franklin Rother, the Dean for the K-12 Partnership. And the disruptive idea that we're talking about today, Joe, is something called an early college high school. And I can't tell you how happy we are to have you on the program, because we've heard our Director of Education, Rich Allen, who was the principal of an early college high school for a long time, talking about how wonderful they are. And here's a chance for you to explain to us what they are. So what is an early college high school?
Basically, an early college high school is an opportunity for students to gain their associate's degree while they're still in high school. And in fact, our first two programs, the Poseidon Early College High School, of which Rich was the principal, and the St. John Vianney Early College Academy, are the first two, and we'll be graduating our first cohorts this year.
How many graduates?
9 from St. John Vianney and 19 from Poseidon, which is an extraordinary number of students to have at the end of 4 years. St. John Vianney has started with 12, and Poseidon started with 25, and we're at 19 for Poseidon and 9 for St. John Vianney. Wow. It's a wonderful testimony to the students and their effort, as well as the teachers that we've had throughout the 4 years, and to all of our staff and support services.
Great. Maybe, Anita, you can talk a little bit about your partnership with Brookdale Community College, because that's where the associate's degree comes from.
When you work with innovative, exciting people, it's extraordinary what you can produce.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first meeting that we had to discuss early college high school. We didn't even know what it was about. This was 4 years ago with David Moy, who was the superintendent at Neptune, for the Neptune School District, and our president at that time, Dr. Maureen Murphy. And she, partnerships for Brookdale with the high schools, it's an extraordinary part of the kind of work that we do. And this was a brand new feature of what we could add, besides, I mean, we've always done classes in the high school. But this was the opportunity to say, we're not only going to do a class here or a class there, we're going to actually target a specific group of students. And in this case, Poseidon was our first program. And in this case, we targeted first generation students, which is rarely the focus for programs like this. And so we were able to develop a whole program with them where first generation college students who probably never thought that they would go to college could complete their college degree, their high school diploma concurrently.
All concurrently.
And because of a wonderful, generous donor that said to Brookdale, I don't want to build a building, I want to change students' lives. Our Poseidon students get to go through this program and earn their college degree free of charge to them. It's extraordinary.
It is an
It's
extraordinary
just-
concept.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, as I imagine it, there are 3 groups of people maybe watching our program.
Okay.
One group would be parents who want to know more about this as an option maybe for their children. Another group would be school administrators who might want to create an early college high school. And a third group would be corporations, companies who might want to fund an early college high school, because I can't think of a better investment. If what you want in your company are problem solvers and innovative thinkers, this is a great way to make them.
Yep.
Now, based on what you're talking about, let's talk first of all about the high school experience, and then let's try to address all 3 of those
Okay.
people. An early college high school is more than just advanced placement courses. It's not just AP courses.
It's not advanced placement courses
I
at all.
think that's so important to get
Right.
clear right off the bat.
Right.
It's not like AP calculus or any of that. It's,
However, I do want to point out that there are 2 models that we operate with. One is where students can bring in AP placement credits towards their degree, and the other is where it's an all-credit program. And that's spelled out in each one of our articulations. But, so students can bring in AP courses, but it's not just an AP course.
okay, so I don't need to test into this program How do I
Well,
qualify? How do I as a
each-
student qualify for
Each
this?
school district sets up their own criteria for admissions.
Okay.
Sometimes it's limited, sometimes it's much less limited. Obviously, you need to start off with students who are academically able, and so around 2.5 is sort of the average choice that most of the high schools have chosen for admissions, along with
2.5 GPA?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And the behavioral issues, that there are none on their record, and recommendations from teachers, that their grades and their PARCC scores are all in a range that are appropriate for somebody to be in this kind of a program.
Okay.
So, so students can bring in AP, but it's not just AP. We have 3 high schools that have chosen to mix AP courses and Brookdale courses to come up with the degree requirements. And we have all the rest of them have chosen degree pathways where students are just taking all credit.
Okay, great.
But I think there's another significant difference. When you're taking an AP course or when you're taking an occasional college course, your mindset is still, I'm a high school student taking
That's
a
correct.
course.
Right.
We start from the very beginning with the 9th grader saying, you're developing into a college student. And the whole idea, I mean, we addressed maturity issues, responsibility issues, so it's a lot more than, just sitting in that classroom and being able to have on your transcript, I have 6 college credits for
Sure.
where I'm gonna apply.
Uh-huh.
So it's the whole student.
Well, the program isn't just an academic program. It's a
Exactly.
life preparation and life skills
Yeah.
program with an
Exactly.
academic component to it. And, we were talking before the program about how scalable this is. I mean, and it could be adapted to a particular community's needs.
Right.
So in some communities, testing levels might be a little lower.
Right,
But that's okay. You can still build an early college high school for that community.
exactly.
Yes.
I think that's so important. It's not one size fits all.
Oh,
We-
absolutely
we-
not, no.
We worked with one school district that in the first meeting that we have, I mean, it is a series of meetings that we go through in developing the memorandum of understanding that we have with the schools and everything. And we had one superintendent at the first meeting said, you know what? I never thought it was gonna be possible that we could design something that specifically suits our needs, but that's what I think we pride ourselves in at Brookdale. It's not a canned program
At all.
at all.
It's not this only works here.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The model can work anywhere because it's totally adaptable.
right, right.
And what's important about the MOAs is while we have specific things that we're going to do and that the high school is going to do, if it's not working, then we have a administrative council that works together, having members from both the high school and the college, to make the adaptations and the changes that are necessary. So we are never stuck in one crosswalk or one model.
Good.
We change and adapt as we need to.
As you need to, so
that these students can be successful.
So the Poseidon Early College High School is the one we're talking about specifically. It's conceptually, it's the whole idea of early college high school.
Right.
But the Poseidon flavor of that has changed over
Exactly.
its
Oh,
life.
absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Because the circumstances in which it lives, it learns. It's a learning institution.
Yeah.
That's we need to take a break.
Okay.
That's very exciting to me, and I'm sure it's exciting to a lot of the people who are watching. So we'll be right after this break with Dr. Anita Voogt and Franklin Rother. So please come back and join us.
Stick around.
In today's workforce, competition is fierce. If you need a competitive edge, earn a credential that sets you apart and brings you closer to your goals. At Brookdale, we offer a variety of short-term certifications in a wide range of fields. From social media and architecture to culinary arts and cybersecurity, we help you get trained, get certified, and get ahead. This is Brookdale. College redefined, success reimagined. Take your next step at brookdalecc.edu.
Welcome back to DisruptED TV. Today's disruptive idea is the whole concept of something called an early college high school. We have 2 terrific guests here talking about it. My name, by the way, is Alcini.
I'm still Joe Osamendi.
And but more important than either of us are Dr. Anita Voogt and Franklin Rother, who are here really talking about early college high schools. And why don't we start this segment by telling us if you're a superintendent of schools out there, which is where this might start, although there may be other places for it, how do you build an early college high school? How do you do it?
You send me an email, or you pick up the phone and call me.
Great, and you'll give them the drill.
Well, usually it's almost the first conversation is about, we want to do this. When can we get together with a small team from both of the institutions and then get this started?
Okay, great. And how hard is it to do one of these?
Hard isn't really the word. I think you have to give yourself enough time so that you keep on working through the pieces. And I would say that if you start during the summer, then you're ready to do an early college high school the next fall.
That's great.
So it's not really, it's a fairly quick process then.
Oh, it's fairly quick.
Right. Yeah, it is.
This last year was very quick. The teams worked very, very closely together. They were very efficient. We got the MOAs, in draft forms,
Right.
and tonight actually our board is voting on resolutions for 3 new early college academies to be started this coming fall.
That, I'm sure, is driven by the students' response to this and their families' response to this. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit?
Well, go ahead.
It's interesting. You had asked a question before: how do students get into the program? And as Frank explained, it's a fairly extensive interview process, and looking back at their experience at high school and attendance and everything else. What is also a very important feature of it is the parents, because the parents are interviewed along with the students. And we stress a lot the idea of, your support for your children through this whole process is critical, because this is, it's a significant educational, venture that they're getting into. And so that support at home, particularly when you're talking about first generation college students, it's an education for the whole family to do that. The parents, of course, are thrilled on a number of levels. When you talk about the Poseidon program, as we said, we had the donor. In several cases, from when you look at the funding of the program, the school districts have picked up the funding for the program. So again, when you're talking about students and families who never saw college as an opportunity for them, all of a sudden everything changes.
What's very interesting about your program too, as you pointed out, Franklin, is that you can get in with a 2.5, let's say. So you don't have to have a 4.0, you don't have to be the genius in the class.
Exactly.
And yet you might have the skills and the maturity to be able to get into this program. And I think that a lot of those students are overlooked sometimes.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
and once they're in, it's not just about trying to push them so hard that they fail.
No,
Right.
no.
Exactly.
You want to make sure that every child in that
Absolutely.
program
Yeah.
succeeds.
Right.
Yeah, but again, just going back to the process, now we've been doing this for 4 years, and we kind of monitor ourselves pretty well, or at least we try to, what are the lessons learned from this program, the lessons learned. So we feel that our model at this point is a pretty solid model to bring forward, but it is not written in stone. We bring it to every school district, and then we just go through the question: who's the target population? What kind of funding are we looking at? What kind of curriculum are we looking at? Where's the program going to be offered? Is it going to be in the high school, or is it going to be at a Brookdale? All of those questions. What's the support from the school district in terms of the staff that they can dedicate? I mean, not full time. It's not full
Sure,
time.
but what impact is it going to have on my faculty time?
Yeah.
And,
Well,
Sure,
it does make a difference in terms of their faculty. If they become adjuncts in their disciplines at Brookdale, they can teach in the program. And many of the high schools have faculty who have master's degrees. Some have even PhDs. So we put them through the same process and get them approved by the departments, and then orient them to teach the course. Sometimes they have mentors. Sometimes they have to go to a more group orientations on the discipline and how it's delivered, the courses are delivered. But what's really important, I think, too, to remember is that even if the program's not funded by a donor or by the school district, the cost of tuition when it's offered at the high school is different than the full tuition that's paid. It's still a bargain.
Right.
yeah, that's another point. It's an economical way to
Right.
get more than just a high school diploma, to get that next step as well, all delivered in that same time frame, which means that the child who goes through the program may or may not go on to a 4-year institution for another 2 years.
Right.
They might just go right to work.
Right.
And they're prepared for that.
But 90% plus end up going on and getting a bachelor's degree at minimum, and many go on for
Because they
a
want to, or
master's
because you push them?
No, we don't push them at all. It's
Okay.
because they are so prepared and so excited about having gotten their degree, and they're now only 18 years
And they
old.
see
They
themselves
go right.
differently.
I know.
Yeah.
They see
I
themselves
know.
differently.
And you know, I kind of want to turn Frank loose here because, the excitement is
Yeah,
clear.
yeah.
And so before the program we talked, well, actually during the break we talked about how popular this is, and I said, is it growing? And you said, growing isn't the word.
Yes.
What's the word you
Well,
use?
exploding is what I would call it. You know, what's really interesting about the way the students react to this is they come in usually in a summer orientation. Some are 5 weeks long, and some are just maybe a week. But whatever the orientation is, they're brought onto campus. They get their student ID, et cetera. And then they go back to their high schools, and they take their Brookdale ID, and they say, I'm a Brookdale
I'm a
college
college
student.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a college
Cool.
And it really transforms them into how they act and how they behave. And in fact, it brings up their credibility with their classmates and, of course, status and stuff like that.
They grow into that role.
Yeah. And,
But
and-
that's so exciting. I mean,
Right.
because that changes behavior, that changes life, life choices, that
Yep.
improves life choices.
Were there role models within the school?
Yeah, right.
It's a good,
Yeah.
you're terrific models for everybody else.
And they move from taking the courses either in the high school or near the high school to the higher education center, and then come to Lincroft.
Okay.
And the group from St. John, Vianney, and Poseidon that we have in the Lincroft campus, they have really blossomed. They're such wonderful young men and women now, and they really have thrived in this new environment at Lincroft.
That's terrific. Okay, we're coming up on a break, but in the
Okay.
last segment, Frank, you mentioned you were available as a resource to anybody who might want to call
Yes.
to find out how to do this. We're talking not just in New Jersey, anybody in any community anywhere in the country.
Okay.
If they want to rough, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the people who watch DisruptED TV. So
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
if you
that's
think this
fine.
might be a good idea for you, Frank can't do it for you, but he can coach you through the steps to get
Right.
this going on your
Right.
own.
Yeah.
And that's, I
Sure.
think that's very exciting, and it's a whole different way of looking at that level of education. I think that's great. We'll be back to talk with Frank and Anita more after these messages.
Be back in a few.
For nearly 50 years, Brookdale graduates have been shattering expectations. They transfer to Georgetown and Columbia University. They work at NASA, call Major League Baseball games, and defeat celebrity chefs. They prove, again and again, that a college is only as good as its success stories, and ours speak for themselves. This is Brookdale. This is college redefined. This is success reimagined.
Welcome back to DisruptED TV. My name is Al Cini,
I'm Joe Osamendi.
and we're joined today with two great guests who have a terrific idea, Dr. Anita Voogt, Franklin Rother, and we're talking about the concept of early college high school, which, as I understand it, means that one of my children can graduate from high school with a associate's degree, all at the same time.
Exactly.
And there are economic advantages to me as the person who has to pay for that. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that, characterize that?
Well, different models will cost a different total, but certainly for under $10,000 through the community college, the students would be able to attain an associate's degree. It's a little lower with some models, a little higher, but certainly under $10,000. And you price that against even a public institution or a private institution, that's a great savings.
It's a very cost-effective way to prepare a child for a career or for college, either way. So the point is, when they're finished with early college, high school, they're ready to go one way or another.
Yeah, to a bachelor's degree, and they have great opportunities through Brookdale to transfer to many different institutions and get support sometimes beyond what they would have expected had they graduated through the normal process.
That
And
is,
virtually anybody, any community that wants to do this can mirror what the community's like. So the
Right.
fact is that they can, you can almost customize what the program's going
Right.
to be per what the community has to offer.
And that's done through the school district in our negotiations
Okay.
as we build that MOA from the summer into around December or January, where we try to get it before the two boards.
Okay, we've talked about what a great value proposition it is for students and their parents. We've talked about how straightforward the process could be for a school administrator who wants to try it. It's not something they need to be afraid of. The one other element I kind of wanted to bring into this before we end the program is the idea that maybe the business community might want to help out with something like this. So what kind of response have you gotten from within a community that businesses there?
Well, we look forward to foundations, from corporations, even private individuals, to look at the school district that they want to serve and talk with the superintendent there and the Board of Ed to determine whether or not they want to get into developing an early college, high school, or academy, and then how they might be able to fund it. That would be a great way to go.
The part that really touches your heart here when you're talking about what can we donate to, again, it's not building a building.
Right.
You know, I mean, when you really want to feel like you're changing lives and you're making a difference in your community and you're making a difference in families, to sponsor an early college high school program for a school district is probably one of the most generous, forget the amount of money, most generous things you could do for your community.
It's the best thing you can do. It's a great
Right.
thing to do for your community
Right.
and for yourself, because the children who graduate from this program are better equipped to do a quality job when it comes time to
I
hire.
wish you could have seen when our donor for the Poseidon program, Mr. and Mrs. Recknick came and visited the students. The students adored them,
Certainly.
and the donors, it was just so mutual and heartwarming. It
Yeah,
was
that is,
terrific.
And you know, this really serves a social justice mission to provide educational and career opportunities, whether you're from the lower socioeconomic groups
Right.
all the way through the middle classes. And it's really important that the school districts try to serve their populations no matter where they're at or what their economic backgrounds
Right.
are.
Yeah.
So, and students really appreciate the fact that they have these opportunities. And if you have the expectation that they're going to be successful, then they generally rise to that occasion.
Yeah. And each student really finds their own path through this process too. It's not like all the children in an early college high school get pushed through the same program at all.
Yeah, in fact, the word push, and we don't do any pushing.
Yeah.
We try not to do too much pulling either. But obviously, some students need more support than others in order to be able to stay in. And but we do remind all of the high schools that the important thing is the student graduates from high school
Absolutely.
and that they are able to get a college degree at the same time is terrific. But if they don't, they still have all the credits that they earned up to the time that they went back to the high school program.
Right.
We actually use the word wraparound services. You know, that it's school, it's family, it's their home situation, that we have ways to intervene at every level to do everything that we can possibly do to support their
That's terrific.
success.
Okay, the one group maybe that we haven't spoken about is how faculty reacts to this. Talk about the faculty experience at an early college high school.
Yeah,
Well, the people who teach in the programs are very, very excited and enthusiastic. There's been skepticism earlier on, and there continues to be skepticism about a high school student being able to handle a college program, and whether or not the students are getting the same curriculum, the same kinds of faculty expectations and assessment. All of those things are in place so that the faculty are approved faculty by our departments. They have to deliver the same curriculum, the same assessments and types of assessments have to be utilized or approved by the departments. So all of that is in place. And while there's continued skepticism, it's important that more and more faculty see the early college high schools as opportunities for some students who can thrive in this kind of environment. It's not for everybody.
Right.
It's for 5 or 10% maybe, but we shouldn't get rid of it because we think that the majority of students wouldn't be able to thrive in it.
It's a professional development experience for faculty on both sides. For the high school faculty to be able to teach the college course.
As approved adjunct.
As approved,
That's important too.
right.
I mean, we are combining faculties from both the community
Exactly.
college and the high
Yes.
school, so it's an
Exactly.
opportunity for both
Right.
faculty.
Yeah.
Really, if you think about it, to
Yep.
kind of connect to each other. And I think that's another great value
And
proposition.
it
of all this.
strengthens both, you know, not only for the early college high school program, but for the regular high school courses and for the college courses, that new experience.
It blends in
Okay.
seamlessly.
Exactly.
It really does. It's not
Right.
a major change. It's just an
Yeah.
opportunity for some students to get something they normally wouldn't get out of a high school program.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
I think what's important in what you just asked is that somebody who's pretty high up in our organization has a child, and he told me I wouldn't let her be in early college high school, this child. But my other child, had we had that, I probably would have
Sure.
encouraged her to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, knowing what the child's abilities and capabilities are, both at the parental level as well as the high school level or the school district's level, that we promote those students to get into this kind of a program who can benefit from it. And of course, they graduate when they're 18. They got their bachelor's degree when they're 20, and they may be on a pathway to a master's degree when they're 21 or 22.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And we're building those pathways, by the
We
way.
because we have university partnerships. Brookdale has partnerships with Rutgers, Georgian Court, and New Jersey City University, right on our campus.
Well,
And
that's-
so, you know, we're talking about pathways from finish your early college high
So
school
even that
program.
transition to
Exactly.
college is made easier by
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
And,
right, yes.
that was another partner that we hadn't had a chance to mention. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
because
Yeah, there
that's-
are already MOAs and
Yeah.
pathways being developed by those three institutions.
All right,
One of the
great.
things that's very impressive too is you always have a platform for continual improvement on the program.
Oh, yes.
And that's
Yeah.
nice because you can really adapt it to get it better and better as you go along.
That's great.
And what we use in terms of our administrative council, it's a joint process. I mean, you know, our academic people come together, our student services people, our administrative, we meet every 6 weeks, we go through all of the issues, and, you know, that joint piece of it is critical.
Oh, great. Okay, we're coming up on that part of the program where your phone gets the ring. Actually, both your phones get the ring. You talk right into your camera and tell everybody how they can reach you to learn more about early college high schools.
Yes. You can reach me at 732-224-2919 or frother@brookdalecc.edu, and you can just go into our directory. So that's Franklin Rother. And certainly we can talk at first about what your timeline is and then when you'd like to meet.
Great.
And mine is Anita Voogt, and my email address is avoogt@brookdalecc.edu, and my telephone number is 732-224-2599.
That's terrific. And you brought with you a PowerPoint presentation. I'm guessing you
Yes.
have other information that people can get online?
Yes.
That's
On
on
our
the Brookdale
website,
website?
yes.
On the Brookdale website. Give that to our editors and they'll make sure that they edit that into a slide at the end of the program so people can go
Great.
there and learn more about early college high school.
Good.
Dr. Anita Voogt, what a pleasure having you on DisruptED
Our
TV.
pleasure, yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
Franklin Rother,
Nice to
what a
meet you.
pleasure, and
Okay.
take care of your cold.
Yes.
And thanks all of you for joining us today on DisruptED TV. My name is Al Cini,
I'm Joe Osmendi.
and we hope a couple of the wonderful ideas that our guests brought with us today could be useful to you in your community, your school district, and we hope you'll join us again for a future episode.
Thank you folks for joining us. We have wonderful having you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank
our
you.
pleasure.